directly going to segue to Be Useful, 7 Tools for Life. This title, Be Useful, could you explain, and that's probably ties into similar chapters around the story around earning money and working your ass off in your younger years. Where did this title come from, Be Useful?
It comes from my father. He would always say that. And his whole attitude always was, whatever you do, try to serve the people. Try to do something good for your community or for your family. Don't just think about yourself. That's why my father was so heavily kind of against bodybuilding, because he felt like that what he was called, this is Selbstfrönung. Selbstfrönung, which means you're kind of like glorifying and you're treating yourself rather than worrying about others. And so he just felt like, he says, instead of lifting for yourself, why don't you go out and chop some wood? Why don't you go and shovel some coal? And this way you help some older person that has coal delivered, shovel coal into their basement. So they have coal in the winter and they have wood in the winter. And you help an older person that is not able to do those things anymore. That's what you should do. And then you get also muscles. Then you also get strong. Then you also can kind of look good. Look at these guys like Laszlo Papp. Laszlo Papp is a boxer from Hungary. He was the European champion in boxing. How does he train? There's pictures all over the place where he's chopping wood in the forest. I said, that's how he trains. That's how he becomes a boxing champion. He doesn't just think about his boxing. He thinks about other people too. So that was his rap. And so he says, you got to be useful. You got to go and use your talent to help people. And so that's where it kind of came from. And it's something that was really interesting because I think you and I, we talked about that in the past, that sometimes things come to you as a kid, but then later on in life, it kind of comes back. It's like kind of you lie there at 6 o'clock in the morning and you want to stay in bed and you say, wait a minute. I heard his voice from my father screaming, be useful. People have never accomplished anything. No country ever was built by people sleeping in. Austria was not built by people sleeping in. America was not built by people sleeping in. People struggled, people suffered, people worked their asses off to build this country. So do you want to go now and sleep in? So then you start feeling guilty and you just jump out of bed right away because those sounds, you hear those sounds, they come back. And it's kind of motivational because it really has driven me my whole life and has pushed me. That's why I called the book Be Useful, because it's kind of an overall title. And then within that book, I put all the chapters in there. If it is, have a clear vision, or, never think small, or work your ass off, or sell, and all of those kind of things, shift gears, or whatever it is. I've put this kind of lessons together, which were very crucial lessons that I've learned throughout my life and throughout the various different careers, but especially in the gym. Most of my lessons are learned in the gym because there's no better place than to learn in the gym, because this is where, the rubber hits the road, right? I mean, this is where if you don't do the forced reps, and if you don't work until it burns and until it hurts, and then you go beyond that and do the forced reps, you're not going to grow. So now you get this message that only through pain you can actually grow. Only through pain you can go, and discomfort and misery you can kind of grow also as a person, not just physically, not just muscle-wise, but as a person. Through comfort, no one ever grows. You only can grow through comfort and going through things where you have to have discipline and where you struggle. If it's in the military, if it is in a real good job, or if it is studying in the university, the more those kids struggle and study all night and go through hardship, the further they're going to go. Look at the students that go through medical college and all this stuff, how many sleepless nights they have and all this. So this is what it takes.